In this episode, I will focus mainly on recreating or creating here my new district or the rest of my new district. And I also wanted to take care of a couple of decorations and things that I removed due to the fact that I rebuilt this or most of the highway area. And I just can see again that there are some weird things happening with the game just because of no reason, so I have to definitely fix that. So hopefully there are no more or no additional errors in the gameplay right now, but currently I can see nothing else happening besides that what I have. And I also will need, and that's also something I'm going to do in this episode, I want to create more pedestrian overpasses for my highways, as this will take off some of the load and prevent the cars from stopping just because of pedestrian traffic. So yeah, welcome back again. It's me, Ben, playing City Skylines in the city of Springvalley here. Yeah, in case you haven't followed me yet, and obviously if you haven't, you maybe don't know me yet, maybe you like this video, maybe you want to consider following me here, because I definitely want to grow my channel over time ever so slightly, and I highly appreciate your comments, so thanks very much in advance for this. So now let's dive right into it with fixing again this kind of hiccup here in the game. So usually, and I had this, I think this is the third time now I'm actually experiencing something like that in City Skylines 1. It seems to have to do something with the intersection, and whenever something like this occurs, where you can see that it's kind of weird because there never was an earthquake. I don't have like natural disasters active in the game, and at some point in time I should be able, yeah, there I can see something but I can't click it, so I'm curious where this is actually located, and it starts from over here, and I'm just wondering where this is coming from and why, or where it's hidden and where it's going to. In the last, like the first time this occurred, I did have a chance to delete it quite easily because I was able to find in one of those like huge craters that are decorating my city now. I was able to find the actual source for it, but right now it seems to be dependent on the point of view that I'm actually having. So I'm wondering whether I can find this. Unfortunately, there is no option to like select everything, but maybe I can do it this way. Maybe I can pull that off and then search for anomalies here that I don't want to see here actually. So sorry for just taking a look at that. I have to get a better understanding of where this road or where those pieces might be hidden. Oh gosh, they go way over there. So where is the earliest point where I can catch those roads? I think it's here, both of them. So probably I can delete this one, and there was somewhere another road that was actually responsible for that ridiculous behavior, and it takes a while. You can see like the game really seems to struggle with getting rid of this hiccup, but now it's not fully solved. As you can see, there's still something weird going on, so I have to probably select again like everything that's going on here, and you can see there is another thing hanging around, and here's another thing. So there are actually a couple more nodes and things happening right now, and it just like went over this thing with my mouse. So that's deleted, and the other one should be somewhere around here because that's still missing. Here we go. So sometimes these things just seem to happen for whatever reason. I don't know. Oh, that's crazy. Look at that. And then afterwards, as soon as I've found this, I will have to find a way to properly delete it. So I have to let me check and see why it still selected everything. Just wondering where I can catch this piece of road that's causing like the trouble here. I think it was further up here, or it's at a certain point. Like there I can get it. I'm just wondering when this actually here. I have to find this specific point where this appears. I absolutely hope that I can find the source of the problem here, because definitely it doesn't look good. But I'm trying something else now. So what I did have here, and I don't know what's actually causing this issue. So usually I'm going up 12 levels up to a height of 12 levels. Then I also want to make sure that this here, the on-ramp height 9, but this shouldn't be on ground level. And then I will try to close this connection and this connection. Okay, now I can see, like, probably if I'm deleting this endpoint here, this could potentially solve my issue. Just waiting to see. But it's still not solved. Like, this didn't solve it actually. It just deleted the beginning, which is kind of bad, because I have to find the starting point here. Or maybe it deleted it all the way. Yeah, because it seems to be no longer there, which is amazing. So maybe that already did the job, which is good. Yeah, and coming from here, obviously I again need this connection here, like let's say 7 units and 5 units. 5 units to over here, then we should have a nice transition between the highway and the rest. But I don't like the steep path here, so I just want to go back to selecting one thing, and that looks less less bad, I think. Then I'm going to select again my 3-lane highway here with sound barriers, because I'm merging with the highway a little bit sooner than before, and I want to do the merging stuff, which is good. And then I also have to check, like this here, this suddenly just broke for whatever reason, so I want to get that connection back in, because obviously I don't want to miss that. So that's fine, that looks good. And now I'm having a look whether I still have some issues here. So no, I don't. And before I'm starting to build Myrtle District further out with new residentials and commercial zones here, I also want to start or redecorate things that are already decorated. So I have to make sure, yeah, I'm selecting this here, then I'm choosing that tool here to place new trees alongside the highway on and off ramps, just to make sure that I'm creating a new or another sound barrier here for my citizens to no longer experience all the noise up to a certain point, because this will protect citizens as well from the noisy road traffic that we are having. And I think I remember, at that point in time, or at that location, I also put in a new highway, redesigned it completely in my last episode. So I'm filling up this space now with new trees. There's an earthquake. I don't know what it is called, to be honest. It's an earthquake detector. But I'm just filling up those spaces here now to make sure that my citizens are no longer bothered that much by loud traffic noises. And then something I completely forgot about is to add in natural sound barrier here for those houses in my new district. And it's a bit of a shame because they had to live with that for quite a while now. And here I'm trying to squeeze in as many trees as possible. And also I want to make sure that this here is kind of protected, even if there are some electric poles or some, it's probably called electric poles. I'm not 100% sure whether that's the correct name, because English is not my mother's tongue here, and I don't have enough vocabulary knowledge to really explain everything to you in the correct wording. So that should be pretty much it. And from here on, I'm just laying out a couple more residential zones, commercials, and a mixture of both of them, just to make sure that I'm filling up this space slowly but steadily with new buildings. So probably I want to have a high-rise here, and I'll let the game run now for a bit in the background, because I'm not worrying about money, even if I'm losing here almost somewhere between 0 and 10k a month occasionally, but this changes constantly, so I'm not really bothered by it, to be honest, because it improves itself anyway over time. Then getting to this here, I want to have some more high-rise residential things. I don't want to place any buildings here because this should be kind of a collector road here that I will use for I don't want to overstuff it with any additional pocket cars here that are appearing. And usually they do. At some point in time they will appear in the weirdest locations. And as you know, especially this here, you can see cars popping up on the roadside like this here, and it's causing many traffic issues that I shouldn't have at that place. And I don't want to see that occurring too often, because it only causes more trouble for my already difficult traffic situation here for this whole district. So let me check. I'm going to add another line of trees here because it's an on-ramp, in that case an on-ramp, and on-ramps are usually more noisy than anything else in the game, or any other, a regular highway is even a highway with sound barriers is quieter than an on-ramp, because an on-ramp just causes people to maybe speed up a bit to gain enough speed to get to the to get on the highway in the end. So over here, I'm going to do something because as you can see, the pedestrian traffic is just ridiculous in that area. So I want to make sure that I create kind of an overpath and I don't have the anarchy mod active because, yeah, otherwise I would be able to place it immediately. So 9. And then I want to have for sure about 18, I think, in the end in height. That should help me with creating a path over this highway. And I kind of want to lead it back to, or can I create something here? Probably. Can I squeeze that in here? I'm just wondering. I'm trying something. Well, it doesn't look perfect right now, for sure not. But I'll try my best to squeeze it in here somehow. So maybe I should, well, let me restart this placement here. I'll use this mod here, and then I'm trying to do something I haven't done before. So I'm turning off the snapping or the guides completely for now. And I want to squeeze in one pole right there so that it can get back to a level of maybe 9 meters and then probably down to a level of the 0 to the ground, back to the ground level, maybe over here. And then I'm wondering whether my on and off ramps still work, and yes they do, because no cars are actually hitting my pedestrian overpath, which is amazing. And then I'm trying to do the same here, like with the same approach or a very similar approach. Oh, I could also create an underpath here. Well, that would be even more amazing, like minus 9 meters. I'm curious whether that works. Just curious whether that's doable. Oh no, it isn't. Oh, just give me a sec. Made one mistake here. I used the wrong thing here. Or maybe I'm creating an underpath here on the other side of the road just to give it a try. So I don't want to start at this level. I want to start at the ground level now. Start over there. Bring it down minus 9. Why is it setting it back? Oh, it's because of this here. So let me check. It's 0. 6 units minus 9. Is this really creating something underneath the road? No, it isn't. So probably it just doesn't work. Well, hopefully we will see in City Skylines 2 something like underpaths for pedestrians, which would be amazing, because that would give us way more options for creating a nicer transition between, something like this here. So using 5 units down to 9 and another 5 units down to ground level. So I'm checking whether that works, and you can already see, like on the other side of the road, many people are using this. So I want to have a check at the traffic manager mod here, and I want to prevent pedestrians from crossing these entry points and exit points to and from my highway, because that should speed up the process of people actually walking across. So that should help. This should help. That should help as well. Not letting them cross there. And I also want to check like these settings here. Maybe not yet there. And there I have to do also some like lane connection editing, which is something I usually don't want to do with regular crossings, because I'm always kind of expecting that the game sorts itself out at some point in time, but unfortunately it doesn't, because at City Skylines 1 hopefully we see some improvements there, but after having a look at all the dev diaries for CS2, I'm like almost confident that they will do a good job with offering us enough options to better manage those things in the future. I want to follow this here. I'm just curious whether I can squeeze it like right down here, down to the ground level. Probably I need this tool here to make it look even better. But I definitely want to bring it down to the ground level so people could use it in case they want to go from here already to the other side of town, which is amazing. So that's a huge improvement. There, I'm just checking. Fewer people are turning around here. Hardly anybody's coming in there. Hardly anybody's coming in there. So this is just still one of... Oh no, this was my initial crossing. So I think the initial focal point of everybody traveling to this district actually changed, which is kind of good. And there I don't have any pedestrians walking. They all take the long route just to be able to walk. Maybe that's their end goal. I have no idea. But probably it is. And I also have to check on city services, so I want to make sure that there is a police station there. We have a fire department sitting over here and a elementary school sitting over there, and probably some kind of what is it again, high school over there. So at least I want to educate my citizens that are actually living in this new district here, because I need a higher educated workforce across town, because as soon as I tear those things down, I might run into difficulties. And this again, I'm curious about this. I know this wasn't my initial plan to take care of that, but I think those guys should all move. And I want to check there's a traffic light in place. Okay, makes sense. So you guys can all keep moving. Again, I think there are a lot of pocket cars appearing, and yeah, you can see they are coming out of the parking lot. By the way, parking lot, I read the dev diaries again and again for like traffic AI, and they mentioned something like, yeah, every citizen has, like, everyone who owns a car, this car needs to go somewhere, so it leaves the home at some point in time. When they travel to go shopping, go to school, or wherever, they need to find a spot to park. So I'm curious, and I saw something, and I'm quickly going to share this with you in a separate video. I think I saw a couple of things like separate parking lanes for cars in more, smaller streets. In CS1 it was always on both sides, except you're using the traffic manager mod where you can actually modify the parking allowance for people as long as you have a road where parking in general would be permitted, like here. And I think I did that, like here I could allow parking, for example, only there, but it's always regarding, or most of the times, I think with a one-way it's on both sides obviously, but when you have two-way road, a small one, then usually you get the option to choose that cars are either parked on one or the other side. And I've seen a couple of pictures, and even in the videos I think it was more or less obvious to see that you now have dedicated roads for this purpose. So you can modify roads by parking, roadside parking, curbside parking, maybe only on one side for the road, of the road, for example. And this is absolutely exciting because I don't want to see people parking literally everywhere, but on the other hand, in such a rural area or more like area with small houses and nothing highly sophisticated, no fancy big buildings there, I think it would be actually very, very interesting to see to have a couple of cars just parking there. Why not? Like, it's so common. You see it in so many places, so why not have it in City Skylines too? So I'm curious. And to be completely frank, it's hard to wait for CS2 to arrive. Absolutely hard. At least for me. It's ridiculous. There's literally no game since years that I anticipated so much as City Skylines 2. I was waiting for that. I was always hoping for a sequel. Of course, most likely everyone who plays it up to a certain extent is waiting for a sequel, and I completely get that. That's completely fine. Everybody does it more or less. Whenever there's a sequel coming up, always in the hopes for, will it be really better than the initial game? Yes, I'm sure. The devs at Paradox Interactive and I just forgot about the other name. I'm sorry. But they are doing for sure an amazing job, and they have the experience of 7 to 8 years now. People modding, contributing to the community. They know the download numbers, they know usage numbers, what kind of content and what kind of extension have been really used by Skylines players over the years. And I think this is where all of this gets absolutely exciting. And I strongly believe, and I strongly hope as well, that we'll have some exciting times coming up for everyone loving this game as much as I do, because I simply love it. It's my one and only game that I always go back to since years. Same for SimCity. I played this for so many years. This was always something I really loved doing, and I think it will be the same for City Skylines for sure. So I don't want to put too many commercial zones here, and I also don't want to have a high-rise next to the riverside, because I want to have a beautiful park. Following this example from over here, where I already do have some parks, and I want to create maybe something it's not going to be seamless, but something like a small transition between one and the other place. I'm curious. Yeah, I will for sure, or most likely, let's say most likely, not for sure. I will most likely set up a park here alongside the river. Maybe with some decorations. I didn't expect there's so much, or that there will be so much place available and space available at that time. Yeah, but it is what it is, so I'm working with what I have. I also have to place down a fire department here, I think, just for safety reasons. I think it's always worth having one. Doctor, I think I'm doing pretty good on that, but still I'm offering my citizens here at least something, and probably another school would make sense. More likely over here. And I also want to have, if I have enough space, a public library here. The first one in this part of town. Maybe there's more room for a public library here. Yeah, I think there is. I could squeeze one in. And probably, no, this is too big, way too big for this part of town. Yeah, but that's fine. I have 2 public libraries, and I think that's good for now. And then I most likely will need another college here. People will love it for sure. And then I will wait and see what develops over time over here. And what else can I put down there? Probably some business and high-rise business as well. And I want to have at least some office buildings there, some low density commercial over there might look nice in this location. Then I'm hoping that we can create some kind of transitioning between this here that is a bit more on the high-rise side than anything else in this part of town. So just let me go ahead and again, guys, not really. So I'm dezoning again everything here. I'm sorry, I'm always like kind of tricked into the same trap here. And this is due to the fact that I placed a building here. Yeah, that's the only building that I definitely need. But again, I was tricked into that. Can't have anything sitting in the square because it will be a park in the future. I'm always forgetting that. It's crazy. That's really crazy. But things are like building up here already, which is good. So maybe I'm placing like one here, an office there, just as a counterpart to maybe that here. Maybe one office over there. Some low density commercial zone here. I almost got around the corner here. Not yet, it's far away from that. And there's so much hope. Like I also read that the amount of agents and like citizens are called agents, or every like living thing in City Skylines 2 will be called an agent. Every agent will be calculated like on a very, how can I describe that? Like on a recalculated and calculated on a constant basis. So I'm wondering, like I have a pretty decent machine, I think here. I'm confident with my PC, with my GPU, with my CPU, with my RAM. I'm running on 64 gigs. It should be fine. It should be working. But in the end, who knows? Like all those additional things that they included now into the base game already, I'm slightly worried that it might be too much for my PC and I might have to like rebuild parts of it again, and I don't want to do that. I hope that I can play the game even with something like the realistic population mode being active, and I hope that they were working on something more realistic when it comes to population, especially population, because again, 65k citizens, it's not a lot for CS1. I had cities with way over 150, so this is just like not even half of what I had. But look at that town, like 65k? Never. Like if you would see this in real life, I would say let's go for at least 1 million. Because that many residential zones, let's say even 500,000. I do have a lot of offices, I can see that. I have a couple of commercial zones here. But there, for example, like this here is almost purely residential zones, and the amount of people living in this house would most likely be way more than 500. So yeah, it's gonna be. I'm curious. Like this is the most important thing, at least for me at the moment. And I think I told you about this throughout this series here of me playing Springvalley already a couple of episodes ago, but at some point in time I still have to plan and to dream to start rebuilding parts of Tokyo in City Skylines 2. In 1, impossible. But I want to work with real population modes so that I can reach kind of a level as it is in real life. That's at least my dream. But whether it's doable, whether it can be done, whether it can be pulled off, no idea. I have no idea about that. I expect not, but maybe City Skylines proves me wrong with the new thing that's coming up here. So maybe it works, but we don't know. Very curious about the game in general. Just to say that. So here I'm putting down a couple of bigger service buildings to cover all the rest of my things here. I will still have some issues with like education maybe, so I'm putting down another. Where do I squeeze that in? I don't want to have a school sitting right next to the beach. Maybe over here. So I'm closing this circle now, kind of. Buildings are still upgrading here. I just saw one being upgraded just a couple of seconds ago. The traffic flow here is looking good. Over there it does look good, like these. I still don't get the toll booth because it doesn't really make a huge difference. Then over here I'm just checking on traffic overall. Like it all looks good. It's kind of moving. Checking my farming district, even that looks good. So I'm happy with the general outcome so far, even if it's not very beautiful yet, but it's something I can work with definitely. I'm wondering whether I should put down some oil fields here, but honestly, if I'm doing that, I will run into traffic issues again in this district, I don't want to do that. There's something I don't like from a beautification standpoint, like this should here be way higher than it is at the moment. So maybe I can level out those nodes somehow, and I think it was with that mod, the network multi-tool, I think it was. Like but I have to choose the tool first, I think. So what is it? Add node? No, I don't want to add the node. I just forgot. Set slope, arrange line. Probably it was this here. To apply slope, so I'm curious. Yeah, this looks way better now. Like it's more in line with what we've got. That looks better now. So, sorry, I have to jump back to this here. So Myrtle District is about to be finished and about to be filled up with all like residential zones that I want to have, or that I really need. I don't want to like do too much here of a planning. So again, I'm using my line tool here for beautiful row of trees, but I think I did pick a different tree here. Yeah, probably this one. So maybe I should not build any other buildings here alongside the highway. I think that's not really worth it. Now a lot of traffic is coming in here, but this might be purely because of people moving in. Hopefully it just is that reason. Squeezing in another few trees here, and I want to make this a double line of trees at least for now, because this should be helpful with the traffic anyway. And I'm lining up some trees here alongside those houses as well, just to make sure that everything's covered properly. So that should be fine. Now I have a few empty spaces here. Some commercial, an office, and maybe some small commercials here. Don't want to put too many things down for now, but this should fill up the whole thing quite nicely. So I'm waiting what will happen to this part of town here, to that traffic that's coming in here. Maybe it's a lot of people moving in, but I'm not 100% sure, because many of them are actually going downtown for whatever reason. So I'm not sure about this, but hopefully the traffic clears itself up pretty soon. And right now, closing the unified mod, I have to check a couple of crossings here. This one you should move, everybody should move. Like if they can, please go on moving. Same here, no pedestrians. There are a few people walking, which is fine for me now. And then you go, everybody goes, please. Yeah, I think that's okay. And soon you will see, and I have to manage those lanes here as well. And I think this will significantly improve again the overall amount of cars that can travel through here. And you go either there or there. You can only go there, and you can only go there. So this should already help. over here, it will be pretty much the same, like people go here, go there. You can either go here or go there, and this one can go here. I'm curious what will happen to the traffic in a couple of seconds, so this might solve it. And I think also that this is only a temporary thing, hopefully. As Ray mentioned, thank you, Ray, again for your ongoing support here. It's really helpful. I appreciate it so much, receiving your feedback on a constant basis. It's like wonderful to know that you have a follower that's really watching your videos. So there they are turning, which is completely fine, but they shouldn't be doing this whole hokey pokeys around lanes here. Yeah, I think you can let it be. Then people are going here. And I'm always wondering, like, is it really good that in Myrtle District I'm preventing trucks from coming in? I don't know. Is it good for the business? Is it bad for the business? I have no idea. To be honest with you, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. Because, yeah, I think this is mainly about people moving in. Hopefully it is. So now, it was quite a long way to get to this point here. But I think besides this riverside park that's still outstanding, and I'm not yet sure about it either, I think I'm pretty much done with that district. At least that's the way it looks at the moment. Just curious, is there like anything else you would maybe recommend me doing? Any comments about this build? I know I'm not the best guy in building highways and things like that, but yeah, sometimes I'm just testing things and then taking what works best in that situation for me. Yeah, it's been people moving in, because you can see like the traffic already got better over time, so I shouldn't have too much trouble here. Yeah, so I think I'm closing this episode for now. Thanks very much for following me and for watching this video. I would very much appreciate it if you left me a like, left me a comment. I'm more than happy to answer any questions or answer any comments that are coming in. So thanks a lot for doing that, and have a great rest of your day, I would say. Have a good one. Thank you very much, and have a good one. Bye bye.